Hello all and welcome to another Caffeinated Entertainment video. It's Art here with the book review for Return to Cinder, the 21st Walt Longmire book by Craig Johnson. This book series as a whole is like putting on your favorite pair of pants, going out on your porch, grabbing your beverage of choice. Mine would be coffee or tea, and catching up with old friends. I've said that many times. This book by itself is part comedy, part rescue mission, part lone wolf or cowboy walking on his own to become or remain and be the hero in the story, and just part journey of just seeing what you've got left at the tank in what I would call a middle age to a late middle age to senior citizen close to person. Definitely AARP would be contacting Walt, trying to get him to sign up real quick. But it is a book series that is just, it's fun, it's down to earth, it's grounded. It is that dog with the bone, like the Harry Bosches, like the Lincoln Rhymes, that kind of a thing. It is that dog with the bone series. Desert Star is one where Walt becomes the wanderer, in that he and his need to set things right overweighs his need for his own personal safety, his love for his loved ones, like his need for justice, not just the law, is what drives Walt Longmire, and that is more than evident in this story, Return to Cinder, because Walt Longmire does something that most wouldn't do. First of all, Walt Longmire going undercover, which is the basic premise in this book, and I'm not spoiling anything because it happens from page 1, so I'm not spoiling a thing. He goes undercover, and somebody the size of Walt, and somebody the build of Walt, and somebody who carries himself the way Walt Longmire does, isn't very good at undercover work, to put it politely, to put it plainly. He isn't good at undercover work, nor should he ever be. But what he does have going for him is he has his sense of justice, his sense of right and wrong. He will always do what is right, even at the cost of bodily harm to a loved one or to himself. This in turn leaves the cast of characters like his loved ones to, what's the word I'm looking for, to have to cast a net of safety and watch out for Walt and keep Walt from his worst enemy, which is Walt himself. This book may only be about 374 pages in print, 440 pages in ebook format, and about 8 hours in audio format. By the way, George Waddell does a wonderful job in the audio department as well. He does a wonderful job in that department, and should be very much commended for what he does and what he has done. But it is, and sometimes you need the paint by numbers Walt Longmire adventure. And thankfully, Return to Cinder, while being, the premise is unique. I'm not going to spoil the premise. I'm not going to spoil what happens in the book. The premise is unique. It is, in a lot of ways, a paint by numbers Walt Longmire adventure. But that is not a bad thing by any means. You know what you're getting into when you read a Jeffrey D. or Lincoln Rhyme book, or a Jeffrey Deaver Colder Shaw book, because Jeffrey Deaver is formulaic in his writing. So too is Craig Johnson with the Walt Longmire series, and that is not a bad thing. That is a good thing, because you know what you're getting into. You know what your lane you're about to read is. You know how it's going to go down, and you know you're going to have a good time doing it. I'm not saying that there aren't pulse-pounding moments and chapters in Return to Cinder. There definitely are. There's comedy of... There's offhanded comedy at Walt's expense, and also at others' expense. There's tension, there's intrigue, there's kindness. There's Dog, who is the best dog character in all of literary fiction, at least modern literary fiction, if you ask me. So, and you've got Katie, you've got the baby, you've got Vic, you've got Sizer Pretoria, you've got Henry Standing Bear, all the cast of characters, Ruby's there, the entire cast of characters that you come to love in the Walt Longmire book series, which is slightly askew from the Walt Longmire TV show, although they're more akin and more in line with each other than one would think. They're just great. It's just a great series. It's Return to Cinder is another book in that series. Cannot wait for book 22, which I know will be out in about 6 months to a year. But I want more. I will always want more. Craig Johnson is right down the lane. If you haven't read the Walt Longmire series, then The Cold Dish is the first book, and I suggest you start there, because they do build on each other. This one takes place exactly 2 to 3 weeks after First Frost, which was the last book previous to this. So it is important you read them in order. The Walt Longmire series is like a layered cake or a sedimentary rock, in that each layer builds upon itself, and that's why you need it. For me, it's a full 5 stars out of 5 on the GoodReads scale. It's a read it, own it, love it on my scale. It is completely enjoyable. It's one of my favorite series. Craig Johnson is an author for me, and that's all there is that I have to say about that. I love Return to Cinder. Cannot wait for the next book in the series to take its place, to take its spot on the mantle. But in the comments down below, let me know if you've read any of the Walt Longmire series and or Return to Cinder. Let me know what you thought of it. Try to keep it spoiler free if you can. And without further ado, you know I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Please ding the notification bell to be notified when I upload a video. And without further ado, happy reading. I'll see you again soon. And peace.